wapi, lakini we want today to unveil this new movement.
Thank you.
And for you to officially invite Rigiji to join us.
Thank you, sir.
Atutembee pamoja. Asanteni, Mungu awabariki.
Well done. Asante sana ndugu Eugene. DAP Kenya, mwanzo mpya. Mwanzo mpya. Actually, it's a true beginning, come to think of it. DAP. Congratulations on your 3rd anniversary. Na vile asante. Na vile vile kwa kuzindua makao makuu mapya within the neighborhood. But as I was driving in, I noticed a very big kibao pale near the petrol station. DAP Kenya, kubwa sana. Ungeweka pia ya wiper iko hapo. Yetu tunaanzia karibu hapa. Hata sisi basi tutaenda tuweke hapo. Na wenzetu hawa pia wakija waweke yao pale. So that the country will know the headquarters of the incoming administration. Kwa hivyo ni furaha tele. Peter Salasia sijui kama bado yupo ako pale. Ile ni kijana wa ajabu ile. Amesema niwaalike pia Sekuru. Sio tu vizitu wa Monyoro Mheshimiwa Rigiji. Na kule kwingine kuna Ishaweri vile vile tulienda huko one of these days. So Peter, I will invite you. Kwanza nitaenda na wewe peke yangu nikakuchinjie kambuzi, na pengine kama hujapata mchumba nipatie kasichana huko. You know, we had a commitment mbele ya padri pale kwamba lazima uoe bwana. Uko na changamoto kubwa pale. But don't be in a hurry, as I told you, don't be in a hurry. Because ukiwa kwa hurry, wengine hawatajua watakutambua kwa sababu gani. That the newest member of DAP K, executive member for Mumias East, wengine watakupenda vile ulivyo. But you are bold and very decisive. So I congratulate you for showing leadership to the younger generations. I think we need to give them a big clap. My brother Eugene Amala, congratulations. You are focused, you are precise. And my brother Tony Gachoka always likes to tell me these things about leadership. He says it's a half fortune and a half skill. I remember that he tries to paraphrase Machiavelli. This man is dangerous. Amefukuza ndani. So I have fortune and half skill. So we are here today ili tufanye mwanzo mpya. Actually, that's what it is. But as we do so, I will urge caution. Because you will recall, Eugene, that whenever we were coming together in the past, we will be herded. Yani unaonekana mbaya if you don't take the necessary step. This time, we want to give everybody reasonable comfort level so that people are not pushed into anything. You will recall that when we met our brother Dr. Matiang'i, even recommended that we look for some technical team. I can tell you that. Technical team to build this level. Before you consign the level of mortician to my friend Philip Kisia, give him the opportunity, because that was a very important matter. When they discussed with Rafa Utuju, was the executive director of Azimio, and that's how we ended up with Philip Kisia, and he's already doing a marvelous job. Let us not leave anybody out. We will not leave anybody out. And as I said, there are others coming in. As we speak, you do not see, of course, Jubilee Secretary General here, Kioni. I believe we are all together. Let's not leave out anybody. This is the matter, because then you will give opportunity to Zakayo kuanza kusema wamegawanyika even before they began. So we'll do that. I know that Baba Yao is talking to Farmers Party, others are talking to other places. When Zakayo is consolidating, pushing everybody to wind up and join UDA, our approach is going to be the other way around. We'll open the space so that as many parties as are willing will join this wonderful, wonderful winning team. I hope I'm talking to you. So that's what I wanted to say. There's no room for division. We will not allow it, so that another good friend of mine from Ingo, the other day he was actually saying, my friend Steve-O, akirudi huku pia, if he doesn't watch his mouth, that is Weta. I don't know how to disown friends. I was with Weta and Raila, kumbuka kule, wakati after 2013 elections, ile sumu ya gas tulikula na yeye. One time I'll tell you a joke. I was wearing the wiper cap, and then we are demonstrating that Hassan people wametuibia kura waende. And then we are outside the university towers on University Way. Tunapigwa tear gas. If you didn't know what happened that particular day, we have fought, and we can't afford. We must get killed. I didn't know that Raila could fit into the driver's seat. Hapo alikuwa gari yake imepotea, akaingia kwa ya Orengo. Natafuta Weta simpati. Tukapotea, and we used to end up eating kwa mama samaki on Kilimani. And tunajipanguza machozi, tear gas. William RUTO anaenda huko Kambana akasema, the last time I saw a whole former vice president, he was sitting on the tarmac. It's time now to sit on the tarmac. Tukiendelea namna hii. Pia yeye akule dust kidogo. And this is for the good of this nation. I believe it strongly. So when I talked of Weta, he talked of this is going to be murky, a divorce. Was describing a divorce between Ford Kenya and ODM, because he had been dispossessed of the position of the deputy minority leader, or the minority leader in the Senate. Maybe he actually accomplished that. He was very, very, very noisy about it. So we are going to do things differently within whatever remains of Azimio. We recognize, of course, that DAP has pulled out. You took a resolution, we respect it. We know that Mother Karua's NAC Kenya pulled out and gave notice. We respect that. That does not necessarily mean we are not going to get together again. It could be a strategy, because we saw our sister mother and our brother Rigiji up there, a very cold area in the mountain. We must continue to do things. We must do this thing differently. In fact, sometimes you do so, our sister Kate, to confuse them, because you know them. You are dealing with very crafty characters. So we need to be able to be very, very deliberate. We are not going to be announcing every step. My friend Eugene, let's not announce everything to these people. We have to be strategic. Wacha tuwakamatie chini. Sina mna hiyo? Wangapi anasema tuwakamatie chini? That is my advice today. Yesterday I advised Sifuna, Secretary General of ODM, and Salasi, I'm sorry I annoyed you, that I said bado tunaongea nawa. Sifuna was talking beautiful language. Beautiful language. Says if you abandon the people, Mimi Sifuna was talking like us. Ata abandon wananchi. And this is a constituency, these are his constituents. Our sister Bosibori was hosting us there in Ndagoreti North. And so, I advise that we do not give William Ruto the excuse to delay formation of IEBC. I'm happy that he has already gazetted the names, and as we speak, out of the 9, I think 7 have already been sworn in by the Chief Justice. And I said, because another young lawyer viciously argued Njeru Ndegwa. You cannot allow Professor Olo Adams, he's in that advisory team, William Ruto, and therefore this is another. And I realized because Wiper was unfairly blamed for delaying the process. Now the truth is known. It was not us. It was William Ruto, through instructions given to a judge in Kiambu, who has vacated our own situation, dismissed the application, and therefore paving the way for the selection panel to be put in place. So now I say, Professor Lo Adams, because he went in as Azimio and Dr. Kokemoli as Azimio, right? As of today, therefore, the whole thing about the categorization of those leaders, of those members of IBC selection panel, are based on that structure. Now, we can, going forward, choose to dismantle the structure. And I think Philip Kisia, who is the executive director of Azimio, whatever remains, because we have Billy still holding on, we have Wiper holding on, we have Kano. Remember that we had One Kenya Alliance, and I think we were with you by that time. One Kenya Alliance. So some of these things, I'm just saying, we must be strategic so that we do not make it obvious. Indeed, it's going to become, let it come up and hit. Remember, there were people, Kenyans also, on social media, who are determined to get the new team going forward. And I saw myself invited to Limuru 4 conference. Limuru 4 kufanyika. But I know the urge by Kenyans, they want us to get together, drive out this situation. Senator Richard Onyanka, I really agree with you. I can't agree with you more. If there's a leader who has been reborn, in my view, and speaking the language of the young Kenyans, and not afraid of anything, it is Senator Richard Onyanka. So, what you have told us here is like a tip of the iceberg. I think I want to agree with Malala. When I met Malala today, we laughed. I remember the last time, this man is able to organize tremendous. He organized a big rally for Matungu, remember? We were campaigning for a candidate, One Kenya, Namulindo. Big organization. So I wondered what happened. I still want to ask a few questions. What happened? And therefore today, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you what is happening now is the real thing. You know, I took a position before the impeachment of the deputy president, the second deputy president. We consulted. We actually went on a retreat. And we took a principled position because the country was saying, not Rigathi Gachagua alone, but even William Ruto amtangulie. So they were saying, remember, kufa driver, kufa makanga. So we say we will not allow makanga na kufa peke yake. And that is why we took that principled position. It was not for the love of Rigi G. I can tell you I've never myself at that level interacted closely with ndugu huyu Rigi G. I haven't. But I can also disclose that they have been talking very closely with my brother Eugene. You know, him be strategic. Mwambie Eugene kutana na yeye. Saa ingine tunakutana tukasema this thing is not right. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. So Bwana Wambugu, I also thank you for standing with our brother here. One time I went to Nyeri, I had all kinds of reasons to say no to Rigathi when an opportunity arose. Because they had that MP for Nyeri town was a tough organizer. Nilienda kule nikapigua kelele ya ajabu. When I went there, we met with our brother Rigiji at Ndarasha, that terrible incident, the tragedy, when we were burying those children. He briefed us. Tukaingia Nyeri town. I saw a different Nyeri town. By the time we were in Karatina, if I was the MP for that area, I would resign mapema. Kama kuna mtu anachukiwa na watu ambao wamemchagua, from what I could see, I don't know what the name of that MP is. I would advise him mapema, resign, tafuta kazi ingine, mwambie Zakayo kupatie ambassadorio uame Kenya hii. Because even there will be an election. The other reason they are delaying this whole thing about IBC is because they know now under the constitution you can recall some of those MPs. Wanaogopa hiyo kama kitu ingine. And I want to prepare our people. Now that IBC is there, tafadhali mujiandae hawa watu wawe recalled because they have acted unjustly. They have supported corruption. They have above all else stood for a government that abducts its own citizens. And I want to pause it here. My academic brother Tony, I want you to argue with me when we leave this place. My argument is abduction is worse than detention. At least wakati wa detention ulikuwa na kitu inakuwa signed, unaweka mahali. Abduction, it is something terrible. It's a crime against humanity. Therefore, Cleophas Malala, I agree with you. Are we going to wait tunaimba kuwa 2027 ukutafikika jameni namna hii with people abducting Kenyans? Mama mzee Joki complaining about SHA trying actually to advise them this thing is not working. You send 20 policemen to abduct a Kenyan mother against all known humanitarian and international statutes relating to the freedom of the person. In other words, this administration, RUTO, has overthrown the constitution. So how can you live with a government and unaamini 2027 which has already overthrown the constitution? That is the problem I have, Tony. I have that problem. Let me now tell you this. Even as IEBC selection panel wameanza kazi yao, do you know that the secretariat of IEBC, led by somebody, Marjan, I don't know the name, Marjan or somebody, is getting instructions from the former Commissioner Molu, who is RUTO's advisor in State House. Now, let me get that document, ndugu yangu. They have already put a tender to procure for the next 3 years without an IBC commission in place. It's already on their website. Yeah, some of it is closing time at 1 o'clock on the 29th January 2025. They're already in a hurry. And it's like this is a test case. If we don't stop them now, we are telling IBC Secretariat, you will not move one step. We'll come for you if you try to do this. You must wait for a properly constituted IEBC. That is where Azimio lost it, by the way. Remember, they procured a printing farm in Greece. By the time kina Uhuru na hao wengine walileta the extra 4, remember the Cherera 4, they were there, hawajui what is happening, things had already happened, they had procured materials in advance of these people arriving. So this time, we cannot afford, in my view, to allow these people any space to manipulate, to steal, to mess up with 2027. That's why some of them are saying they know how to manufacture presidents in excess of 24 years. And they also know, they even say blindly, I mean boldly, that they will make sure even if wameshindwa, wataibuka hawajashindwa. If we are in this country and we all belong in it, we must really stand very, very strong. Mwisho, you cannot isolate the mountain or any part of the country. It is not possible. We want to tell William Ruto, the mountain is not isolatable. It is not. I repeat, the country is united against one person called William Ruto. That's all. It's completely, and if you look at, if in fact, You know, have you asked yourself why you are not seeing opinion polls these days? Have you asked yourself? It is simple. This administration is enjoying the lowest opinion rating since independence. I think they are ranging between 16 and 18%. Hao ndio watashinda kweli? So we want to make it very clear. From now, let us actually have vigilantes and our young people. I've myself announced June 25th should be marked the date of the new Kenya, when young Kenyans breached parliament. They did an incredible thing. They stood for their future. And it's not that they could not get rice where they were coming from. Waheshimiwa mulikimbia mkawachia bunge wakajienjoy kidogo. If it was not for the tunnel, they would have, and these young men are so decent, they would not have messed you up. But instead, we visited with Eugene and other colleagues. Tukaona vile wamepigwa risasi, sniper from on top of the bunge itself, opened the skull of young Kenyans, and you want us to forget, and you want us to tell you the bread-based government is not blood-based? You surely don't believe it is still blood-based? Therefore, the 25th of June will go down in the history of this country as a truly revolution day. And I think we have to accept it, give it to the young people, that they could not have died in vain. That unakumbuka 25th, the other day, they could not even be allowed to hold vigil. We stand with them, not because of anything, but because it is the right thing to do. I want to conclude so that I can welcome our brother, Rigiji, kwa kusema kwamba we must do these things now differently, and we must be very strategic, at the risk of repeating myself. And there's no two-way traffic about this matter. From today, the vigilante teams, any careless utterance by Kenya Kwanza administration, kama hii governor of all the people, I could not believe Otuoma could say that. Let Otuoma know I'm coming to Busia. I'm coming to Busia. Oh yes, I will come to Busia. And nothing will happen to me, because he dare not cause violence. If he thinks he is helping William Ruto, that is the day the whole international community will close ranks. I will say, Kenya, you're on your own. Remember, we keep on saying we are against the Haiti mission. Kama kuna kitu moja inatatiza even election ya Raila for AU, it is this thing about Haiti. And now listen, African heads, how can an African country go and kill blacks in a faraway country? Because you see, Tinga is a candidate of the Kenyan government. It's a Kenyan, and that's why we agree with Salasia. We will help him, we pray for him to get this thing. But so that I can quickly conclude, we document every careless statement. And Kenyans are wonderful. Forward every careless statement to the ICC. That is the only language William Ruto understands. So if you want to isolate the mountain will report you and all of us for crimes against humanity. We will cite you and we will follow these things to their logical conclusions. Haya ndio matamshi yangu, as I congratulate once again DAP Kenya. Huyo wakati umefika, if there is no alcohol, mimi nitafanya demonstration pale outside because watu wamechoka. And once again, our brother Mheshimiwa Gachagua, stay firm. It is your democratic right to be heard. There are those who have already assumed that he's out of any situation because of impeachment. And as a senior counsel, I can tell you what happened on the floor of the Senate on that impeachment Any magistrate, any judge properly directing his mind will know that was an improper impeachment. And that's why we stood with you. Karibu sana ndugu. Karibu. Thank you.
Express.